President Trump triumphs in Asia. U.S. media fixates on handshakes and goldfish. President Trump is on his way home, having just completed a 12-day trip to Asia, his first as the most powerful man in the world. By all accounts, the trip was a resounding triumph. Strike that. By all accounts, the trip was a resounding success. Thousands in China flocked to see the American president, waving tiny U.S. flags and snapping pictures even of his empty limousine. So wowed were the Chinese that its leaders invited Trump, a fierce critic of U.S. Sino-trade imbalances, to dine in a palace in Beijing's Forbidden City. The first foreign leader bestowed such an honor in modern China. Thousands more were delighted with a video in which Trump's 6-year-old granddaughter Arabella performed several Chinese songs and recited poetry in Mandarin. The stylish First Lady Melania was the talk of the town as she visited the Great Wall and continued to make America, as she has done from the outset, look great again. But so what, right? What did Trump actually achieve? President Trump and his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, on Thursday, announced more than $250 billion in deals between the two countries across industries like energy, technology and aviation, CNN reported. Well, so there's that. And there was much more. Trump bounced across Asia in a blur, hitting Japan, South Korea, China, Vietnam and the Philippines. For leaders there, it was the first time they came face to face with a new U.S. president, and he's an imposing man, all 6'4" of him. He glad-handed leaders throughout two major economic summits, flattered the assembled heads of state, and took in cultural events like musical performances and dances. And the Asian leaders swooned. In Japan, Trump played golf with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who gave him a hat that said, "Donald and Shinzo make alliance even greater." The PM even served Trump a cheeseburger for lunch, made with U.S. beef. No sushi for this president. I believe that there has never been such close bonds intimately connecting the leaders of both nations as we do now in the history of Japan-U.S. alliance of more than half a century, Abe said. On his next stop, in South Korea, Trump was greeted by thousands of children waving U.S. flags in an extravagant welcoming ceremony. In less than 1 year, South Korean President Moon Jae-in said, "You are already making great progress on making America great again, as you have promised on the campaign trail." In Seoul, Trump got South Korea's back when he warned its neighbor to the north to step off. Trump said any attack on the United States or its allies would be a fatal miscalculation, and even spoke directly to dictator Kim Jong-un, saying, "North Korea is not the paradise your grandfather envisioned. It is a hell that no person deserves." In Vietnam for another Asian summit, Trump said he would help arbitrate the South China Sea dispute, and again made his case for fair trade between the U.S. and Asian nations. No globalist, this president. In the Philippines, strongman President Rodrigo Duterte even serenaded Trump with a song that included the words, "You are the light in my world, a half of this heart is mine." Talk about a big smooch. Meanwhile, the U.S. media tried to play gotcha throughout the trip. Most egregiously, CNN edited a video to make it look like Trump, the abortion impatient American, dumped a whole bowl of fish food into a pond while feeding goldfish with Abe. In fact, Abe had done the exact same thing seconds before, as the Daily Wire reported. And when Trump was part of an awkward handshake in Manila with foreign leaders, the Washington Post and other outlets used a photo that made Trump look goldfish, with a post saying it was revenge for the White House keeping photographers out of another event. In fact, Trump was merely trying to shake hands cross-handed with two much smaller men, and simply left out the situation. In the end, Trump's trip to Asia was a surprising success. He stayed on message, played the polite guest, and listened intently to the concerns of the other leaders. He represented America's interest in exactly the way Americans would want an American president to do America first. And as he always does, he sure seemed to be having fun. But you wouldn't know that if your only source of news is the mainstream media.